somewhere between your last thought at night and your first thought at dawn, there exists a moment where you are no one, where the masks sleep, where the roles dissolve. It's in this moment that you feel the presence that watches, the naked awareness that exists before name, before story, before performance. But when your eyes open, it returns, the mask, like a second skin, like a prison made of other people's approval. Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt something explode inside? Not against the reflection, but against what's hiding behind it? There's a rage that doesn't destroy worlds. It destroys false worlds. It doesn't burn forests. It burns cardboard sets. This is the most dangerous fury that exists. The rage of the real against the simulation, of soul against persona, of being against representation. Jung called this the encounter with the shadow of the mask, the moment when the authentic part revolts against the domesticated version. You're feeling it now, aren't you? That discomfort, like something inside you is awakening from chemical sleep, like decades of spiritual anesthesia are wearing off. Today, we're not going to learn about authenticity. Today, we're entering the plasma state of transmutation, into the alchemical fire that transforms lead into gold, performance into presence, mask into mastery. Breathe deep, because the theater is about to catch fire. There's a silent epidemic sweeping the spiritual world. It's not unconsciousness, it's faked consciousness. Millions of people who've memorized the words of enlightenment but never tasted its flavor, who speak of presence while living in constant absence from themselves. Jung discovered this in his most evolved patients. The more golden the spiritual mask, the more putrid the wound beneath. The ego didn't die. It just put on angel makeup. You know the symptoms. The smile that doesn't rise from the heart. The namaste that hides a save me. The performative compassion that bleeds resentment. This is what he called persona inflation, when the mask becomes so bright it blinds its own wearer. Recognition practice. Close your eyes. Feel your face from the inside. Notice where there's tension. That's the mask muscle. That's where you hold the performance. Now breathe deeply and ask, how many times today did I smile when I wanted to cry? How many times did I say yes when my soul was screaming no? The first step of alchemy is admitting that what you thought was gold might be painted lead. The rage arising now isn't a defect. It's the authenticity alarm system detecting invasion. Because behind every inflated persona, there's a soul suffocating. There's a specific type of prison that has no bars. It's made of spiritual concepts, of memorized mantras, of peace that's just repression disguised as transcendence. Campbell described this as the false elixir, when the seeker confuses the map with the territory, philosophy with experience. You're living in spiritual augmented reality. Every negative emotion is immediately edited. Every authentic impulse is censored by some teaching you haven't even tested. Everything is love. There's no separation. Anger is illusion. These are truths that in the mouth of the spiritualized ego become sophisticated lies. Jung warned, the shadow of the saint is darker than that of the sinner, because the saint represses consciously. The sinner is at least honest about their dishonesty. For 5 minutes, allow yourself to feel exactly what you're feeling. No editing, no spiritualizing, no transforming into learning. If anger arises, be anger. If sadness arises, be sadness. If hatred arises, be hatred. Notice how this threatens your entire spiritual identity, how the mind immediately wants to fix the experience. That resistance, it's the spiritual persona fighting for survival, because it knows one moment of total honesty is enough to collapse decades of mass construction. True spirituality isn't the absence of darkness. It's the conscious integration of shadow. It's not never feeling rage. It's using rage as fuel for transformation. In the alchemical tradition, there's a stage called nigredo, the blackening. It's when all apparent gold reveals itself as lead, when all inherited truths dissolve, when the false self finally admits its own deception. And in this moment of total collapse, something emerges, a fury, but not like anything you know. This one doesn't want to destroy the world. It wants to destroy the lie about the world. Frankl discovered this in the hell of concentration camps. When everything is taken, when all masks are forcibly stripped away, either total surrender emerges or sacred fury. This fury doesn't scream, "Why me?" It screams, "Enough! Sit down, place one hand on your heart, another on your belly. Breathe until you feel the fire in your solar plexus. Now bring to mind everything you've pretended to be. Every time you betrayed your truth for approval. Every performance that drained your soul. Feel the rage, but instead of directing it outward, let it burn everything false within you. Visualize your persona as clothing catching fire. See it dissolving, revealing the naked skin of your truth. Speak aloud. I burn everything I am not. I incinerate every performance. I liberate my authenticity from all golden prisons. Feel how the rage transforms from destructive to creative, from explosive to alchemical. This is the difference between common rage and sacred fury. One destroys everything, the other destroys only illusion. There comes a moment in every awakening journey where you become simultaneously the judge, the jury, and the defendant. The accused, the false self you've constructed so carefully. The charge, treason against essence in the first degree. Jung called this confrontation with the inner traitor, the moment when you come face to face with your own lies. Not lies you tell others, lies you tell yourself. I'm fine. I'm peaceful. I don't feel anger. Campbell described this as the encounter with the shapeshifter, the figure that changes form to please every situation. Stand before a mirror. Look into your eyes for 2 minutes without blinking. Now speak directly to the reflection. How many times have you betrayed me? How many times did you choose approval over truth? How many times did you sell me for someone else's smile? Notice how rage arises, not against the world, against yourself, against the 1,000 small daily betrayals of authenticity. This rage isn't pathology. It's the soul's immune system rejecting the virus of inauthenticity. Now, still looking in the mirror, declare, the trial is over. The defendant has confessed. The sentence is freedom. And then do something you've never done. Forgive your own falseness, not because it was right, but because it was the only way you knew how to survive until now. The forgiveness isn't for what you did. It's for who you were trying to be. There's a moment in alchemy called solutio, the dissolution. It's when the solid structure of false identity becomes liquid, when all certainties about who you are melt away. Jung described this as psychological death. The ego ceases to exist as it knew itself. But here's the secret the ancient masters knew. You cannot transcend what you won't admit to owning. You cannot burn a mask you insist on calling a face. Take paper and pen. Write down every way you perform to be loved. How you change your voice with different people. What parts of yourself you hide from parents, partner, friends. What persona you wear at work, on social media, in spiritual environments. See how you're an actor playing multiple characters, each with their own script, each saying what the audience wants to hear. Now burn the list. Literally. As it turns to smoke, visualize each persona dissolving, and in the void that remains, ask, who am I when I'm not trying to be anyone? The answer won't come in words. It will come as presence, as a field of formless consciousness. Frankl discovered this in the camps. When all external identity is removed, you either collapse or discover you are always vaster than any definition. You are not the role you play. You are the actor. You are not the mask you wear. You are the consciousness that observes it. In ancient Greece, authentikos meant original, genuine, not false. It was used to distinguish true works of art from forgeries. You're about to become an authentic work of art. Not perfect, but real. Jung called this the birth of individual personality. When you stop being a reflection of others' expectations and become a self-referencing being. For the next 7 days, practice the daily non-negotiable. Identify one small lie you tell per day. And I'm fine when you're not. A forced smile, feigned interest. Replace it with simple truth. I'm processing something. I'm not feeling social. That doesn't interest me. Watch what happens. First, discomfort, your own and others. The world was accustomed to your falseness. Truth creates turbulence. Then, respect. People start treating you differently when you stop being a reflective surface and become a defined presence. Finally, freedom. The energy you spent maintaining performance becomes available for creation. Campbell discovered this in his research. In every mythology, the hero must kill the imposter before claiming their true power. You're not killing your personality. You're killing your falsality. What emerges from the ashes isn't absence. It's concentrated presence. Not emptiness. It's fullness without performance. There's a state that ancient mystics called Sahaja Samadhi, the innate nature of awakened consciousness. It's not a state you achieve. It's what you are when you stop pretending to be something else. Jung observed this in his most integrated patients. They stopped being dramatically interesting and became magnetically inexplicable. Close your eyes, feel your body, feel the space around your body, feel the consciousness observing both. Now expand that presence. Imagine it filling the room, filling the building, filling the city. This is your real energetic signature, not the performance, not the persona, but the pure frequency of your being. When you live from this presence, extraordinary things happen. Toxic people simply drift away as if there's a frequency incompatibility. Authentic opportunities appear, aligned with who you really are. You stop attracting people who need your falseness and start attracting people who resonate with your truth. Frankl called this self-transcendence through self-acceptance. When you stop trying to be special and discover you are already extraordinary. This isn't arrogance, it's sovereignty. The difference? Arrogance needs to prove. Sovereignty simply is. You become like water. maintaining your molecular integrity regardless of container, adapting without contamination, flowing without losing yourself. Breathe deeply. Feel the weight of your body. Feel the lightness of your being. You've arrived on the other side of the fire, not as someone who conquered rage, but as someone who was transmuted by it. The mask you thought was your face was just a survival costume, necessary for a phase, deadly if worn beyond its time. Campbell wrote, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek." The cave was your own authenticity. The fear was losing others' love. The treasure was unconditional self-love. Place your hand on your heart. Declare aloud, "I burn all contracts I made with falseness. I dissolve all performances that drained my soul. I reclaim my authenticity as a non-negotiable cosmic right. I become what I always was before I learned to pretend." The journey doesn't end here. It begins again. Now not as an actor playing a role, but as an author creating a life. Not as a reflection of others' expectations, but as an expression of your unique truth. The rage you felt? That was your soul refusing to continue living a borrowed life. The fire you walked through? That was the alchemical flame that transforms lead into gold, performance into presence, mask into mastery. If this fire activated something within you, leave your truth in the comments. Share this video with someone still wearing masks that no longer serve. But most importantly, go live this. Go be this. Go express the cosmic work of art you always were. Remember, where the unseen becomes truth, and the most invisible truth is this: you never needed to pretend to be worthy of love. You always were love disguised as a person. The theater caught fire. The masks turned to ash, and from the ashes, you emerged.